Julius Anglickas, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's been a long time. Welcome back. It's like I said, it's been a long time since I've had you on here, so it's good to see you again.
Thank you.
It's just about just under 4 weeks, and you got a fight coming up. How are you feeling, and how's fight camp going?
It's good. Definitely have to watch how much I train. Definitely don't want to overtrain right now. Been pushing pretty hard, been pretty motivated. Um, this week felt a little tougher, so it's like, all right, let's not get too excited. Let's tone it down a little bit. Let's rest a little bit. So I'm taking this weekend off. Besides that, I mean, there's not much else I can do. Just training hard, putting the work in, and as long as the mind feels right on a fight day, should be fine.
Good to hear. How's your weight cut going? Are you cutting much?
I usually don't look at my weight like week before the fight because I walk around like 225. So I'll start eating cleaner like 2 weeks before. I mean, I already eat clean, but maybe a week before the fight, it'll be like 220. And then I'll start cutting down a little bit more of the carbs and it'll just fall off. But yeah, I usually don't look at the weight too hard at all till like a week before the fight.
Excellent. Your last fight was back in late 2021, and now you're back. So how does it feel to get back into the fight game, get back into a fight camp, and prepare for a fight?
It's good. I mean, that's what I do. So I don't know what else I could be doing if I'm not training or fighting. So this is what I signed up for. I'm healthy. Everything's right. So it's like, okay, cool. Let's start the camp. And what else I was going to say with that? Yeah, I mean, just rather have fights than not have fights. I mean, fights pays the bills, so it's rather have them than not have them.
Right. Last time I spoke with you, it was actually when you were preparing for your fight with Nemkov. So I haven't spoke to you since. How was your holidays, by the way? And did you do anything fun?
Uh, I went back to New York because that's where my family is, like in deep in Long Island. So for holidays, like or after the fights, I usually go back there and just hang out with them for a little bit. Um, did I do anything extra fun um, or exciting? Not really. I just kind of keep it simple. I think I think maybe after this fight, I definitely need to go somewhere, see some places, and just really have a little vacation.
Kind of separate your mind from the fight game a little bit and just enjoy the
Yeah, yeah. Instead of just like going home and doing the same routine, I definitely need to like, all right, let's find some cool place in the United States and go there for a few days. So I might do that.
Oh, excellent. Now, going kind of back to your last bout, obviously it didn't go the way you wanted it to go. But just under a month later, you put on an Instagram post, you're getting the itch again to fight. Um, were you kind of hoping to get back on that December card or that January card, or what was your mindset at that time?
Um, I definitely didn't want to like December would have been too soon. Like that post to like get the itch was just like the first little something. It wasn't like, all right, like I'm itching to fight right now. No, it was just the something little like, all right, cool, let's get back on track. January, I usually try not to fight in January because again, for holidays, I try to go home, rest. I don't want to be training during the holidays and waste that time. Usually, yeah, for holidays, I just go home, spend time with the family. I don't want to worry about nothing. So December, I could fight, but I already fought in um, October, I believe it was. So December maybe would have been too soon, and January, like right after holidays. So I definitely want to be training like during the holidays. So I feel March was perfect. Um, and I think maybe I shouldn't be like how everybody thought. Like I made that post, like, oh, he wants to fight right now. Like it's definitely good not to fight too close back to back. I mean, injuries, you got to watch ahead. This and that, you can't be too eager. Sometimes people take fights or fight just because if the fight previously did not go well, it's more ego that jumps out and they try to fight again versus, all right, let's take our time. Let's think this through. Let's wait a second. Let's be back more when we're more ready versus just being angry and trying to jump back in.
Mhm.
So March is perfect.
Excellent. And obviously that being said, talking about that fight, I know obviously I don't want to dwell too much on it, but what was probably the biggest thing you learned from that fight if you did, and what can you take something from that fight that you can apply to your upcoming fight with Phil Davis and future bouts that you do have?
And what did I learn? It's not so much what you learned. I mean, nothing happened that I never seen before. I mean, he did all the things right, and yes, I lost pretty bad, and it wasn't so much like, oh my god, it's something new. No, it's just I threw a lot of things out of the window, and it was like it was all here. It wasn't anything that like never seen or wasn't prepared or this and that. And it's literally how you react the night of the fight or how your head is leading up to it. So what I learned from it, I guess, um, not letting people distract you, not letting you pull you left and right just because it's a big fight. Because it's like it's funny how it is. Like if some people said, "Oh, Julius, like your life is gonna change. People are gonna try to get at you. Everybody's gonna try to like contact you or be your buddy, this and that." And I didn't realize that. And so like after the fight, I'm like, wait a minute, like I was getting more attention than usual. It's almost like I wasn't even thinking about the fight. So, so yeah, for this one, I'm gonna try to keep it how I kept it for my other fights. Not to talk to too many people, not to hang out too much. If everybody's calling me, ignore, leave me alone. So I think that's what it was. It wasn't even anything to do with fighting. It was just people, blah, 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 blah. What time you fighting? Like, I don't know. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah, and I could see that being something that would, I don't know, for me, if I was fighting, I guess that would kind of distract me. That would personally annoy me. I can't speak on that.
It's a real thing. I mean, it sounds awesome that it's like, oh, people supported me. People try to reach out. I mean, I would do the same thing for others as well. It's like if my buddy would have a big fight, I would be reaching out as well. But if I reached out, I mean, I have to understand that 100 other people probably reached out to, said the same thing, and who's ever fighting needs to like respond 100 times. So it has to get annoying. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just put my phone on silent the whole week. People gonna be like, "Hey, let's go for lunch." I'll be like, "Ignore, don't respond," and just respond to everybody afterwards because it was definitely a lot, and I did not realize how it like snuck up on me.
No doubt. And then, just going forward here now, your fight with Phil Davis, March 11th, Bellator
12th, I believe.
12th, sorry. I think they put in 11th. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Sorry. Bellator 276, St. Louis. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Like, were you hoping to get on that card? Were you and your team working with Bellator to seal a deal there?
Um. Well, we did not know that Bellator was coming to St. Louis. Um, and and like we did not know they were coming, and we did not know like who were gonna be there. They just said like, "Oh, Bellator's coming to St. Louis." and you're gonna be in it. And I'm like, oh shit, like they already have me on on the card and everything. And then they pretty much right away they told me who they want me to fight. So all the news kind of came the same moment. Bellator is coming to St. Louis. They want you to fight Phil Davis. I'm like, all right. So there wasn't any like, oh, I hope I'm gonna get on the card. I was pretty much already on it, and it is definitely gonna be cool because I know a lot of people are gonna show up support. Um, which yeah, another thing. I know a lot of people are gonna be messaging this and that, and I'm gonna be like, sorry, ignore. But it's definitely cool. I fought in that place twice. It's a big arena. I fought there when I was amateur, so it's gonna be like a little bit of a deja vu, I guess, or something.
Excellent, excellent. And I don't think that there's much more of a feeling to fight, not just in front of a crowd, but in your hometown, in your home or your home, yeah, your home, home crowd, I guess, right?
Right? Yeah, it's because yeah, I don't know where my home is now. It's like a little bit everywhere. New York, St. Louis. I've been everywhere so much that I guess I have two hometowns. Or so um, yeah, it's gonna be super cool. Very excited. People already like making noise how they're gonna come out and stuff. Um, yeah.
Well, to kind of add on that, okay, the thing is, Bellator has gone to places in Europe, all over Europe. They've been to France, they've been to Dublin, they've been all over the places. I understand that St. Louis is your home now, but what do you think it's going to take for Bellator to come to Lithuania?
Um, I don't think it would take too much. I mean, there's a lot of places in Europe, so I'm sure they have like their few favorite spots. And if it goes well in one spot, it's like why to switch it up too often? Um, I mean, it is always risky to try new locations. Um, I think there is a fight in Paris, or is it?
Yeah, Paris,
Right,
a couple cards after, I think.
right, with Vader and I forgot the gentleman's name. Um, but yeah, that's a cool spot. Like the whole world knows Paris. It's like if you say like Bellator is going to Lithuania, everyone's like, huh? Where is that? So it would probably be a little risky to like brainstorm to go there, but I think they would have a just as good attendance as anywhere else. So I'm sure they would go there because MMA is growing in Lithuania too.
Hmm.
It's getting pretty big, so I'm sure eventually they would have no issues getting there and putting a bunch of local guys on the show.
Hmm. And with your fight with Phil Davis, I mean, the guy's been in the fight game for a long time. He's lingering in the top 10 Bellator rankings. When you were starting to get ready for another fight, was he kind of a guy that you were thinking about fighting? Was he in a handful of guys that you might potentially fight?
Yes. Uh, they offered him to me as a second Bellator fight. I was definitely surprised about that. I was like, what? But that fell through. Um, it was few names, either Machida, well, definitely low battery. I'm still seeing that. It was definitely like at least guys within like top six, top seven. Um, I was supposed to fight Carl Albertson a few times. That kept falling through because of like the ultimate spot. They like ended up finding me like new opponents, this and that. So I thought he would be the next guy I'm fighting just because he fell through so many times. But like I'm just doing what Bellator wants me to do. I guess they were like, they pitched um, yeah, Phil Davis, and I guess we could have asked for some other names, but it's like they pay me enough to fight anybody, so I can't say no. It's like, well, I'm already in the pool. I just fought a champion, so it's like I can't go back and fighting some um, not top 10 guys. So I'm in the pool with big sharks right now, so that's what I got to do. Fight the big sharks. Can't
Absolutely.
really say no to it.
Absolutely. I mean, a win is a win, but do you feel like getting a win over a guy like Phil Davis would kind of get you back into title contention talks? Maybe another fight after. What would be your thoughts on that?
I believe so because it's so close. Um, my generous side, which I probably should not have, keeps thinking that like, oh, like I don't want to fall in a title shot right off the bat. I want to give it a shot to some other guys too, because it's like it almost sounds like an asshole move for me to, oh, let me fight for a title. I lose. Okay, let me fight for a title again. Oh, let me fight for the title again. It's like, what about everybody else? It sounds dumb because it's like, no, if I get opportunity, I should take it. And if they gave me opportunity, I would take it 100%. But I'm not gonna definitely like promote and scream in the camera like, give me another shot. But if I do beat Phil, I think I would be like somewhat right there. Either Bader would try it again, or maybe I would have to fight Corey. Well, I guess yeah, we would have to see how Corey does it
Hmm.
with Nemkov right now. So yeah, I feel either way, it still would have to be a few more fights to see what happens. And plus, like everybody else needs to have a few more fights, and they're gonna sit down and see how everybody else did it, and they're gonna pick a guy again.
Well, analyzing this fight with Phil Davis, I mean, I think some people would say that maybe his striking accuracy is not the best, but it's no secret that his wrestling is elite. Is that something that you kind of see him try to implement in this fight? Is his wrestling? What do you think is what his game plan will? Uh,
Yes, wrestling, absolutely. I mean, I looked like shit in my last fight, so I'm sure everybody's gonna be like, "All right, we gotta take Julius down." Perfectly understandable. Um, which is okay. I'm not mad with it. It's MMA, so I'm just getting ready for that more. I'm not saying I'm not striking. I'm trying to work on everything. Um, yeah, last fight, I think it was just more of a mental fluke, which happens with everybody, and it could happen to anybody at any night. So yeah, I think he's gonna go and wrestle. I mean, that's what he does. That's what he likes. That's what he's good at. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the game plan of his to go in and do what he likes.
Well, anyone that knows who you are, I mean, we all know that you're going to bring a fight. You're not going to, you're going to come in, you're going to want to fight. But that being said, what do you feel bringing to this fight is going to make it difficult for someone like Phil Davis without giving the game plan?
Yeah, definitely want to stand and strike, stuff his shots. Um, I don't know how big he is because I mean, I have my moments where it's like my wrestling is like good. I can stuff. Um, well, yeah, simple. It's gonna be just pretty much like with Polizzi. Keep it standing, 1-2s, stuff the shot, 1-2s. Like I think game plan is pretty much obvious. Um, yeah, here you go. I gave it away.
Excellent, excellent. And I mean, obviously, if I ask you what your prediction is, it's not going to be that you want to lose. You want to win. So, do you have an idea what? How do you see this fight ending?
No idea. I'm bad with predictions. I hate to pretend like I know the answers. It's too tough, guys. Anything can happen. Um, and prediction, Jesus, like I hate that. I hate thinking of prediction because that's the thing. It's not like early amateur days when you're like really that much better than people and you can pretty much see what's going to happen. Prediction is that it's going to be a good fight. That's my prediction.
Excellent, excellent. Well, maybe this is something that you can kind of tell me more of. In a perfect world, how many fights would you like this year?
That also goes after in the perfect world. In the perfect world, I would fight every weekend. I would stay healthy and I would come out with a lot of money. But okay, a little more realistically, uh, I have to fill 2 more times because you definitely need to like shut your mind off a little bit. You got to see how beat up you are and get healthy. So 2 more times after fill, like I'll be perfectly happy, even if it's one. Because that's the thing, I don't know what's gonna happen or anything. But yeah, 2 more after fill would definitely be nice.
Excellent. And I don't. Before I go any further, I just gotta ask, what is that? What is that poster? Whatever you have behind you, you gotta explain.
Oh, it's a tapestry. I don't know. I just found it on Amazon. It's some freaking big dragon on some burning buildings and some soldiers at the bottom. It looked cool, and my walk was boring, so I'm like, I want to just hang that up. It'll be a little more cool. Plus, I don't have too many guests here, so I just kind of make my room as whatever I want it.
Well, I certainly I'm still working on my office here. As you can see, it's in a bit of a construction, so I think I need something like that. I might have to come over to steal it from you. I don't know.
Yeah, get some tapestries, man. There's a ton of them. Like whatever topic you want, they out there. It's worth it. It's cool. It makes the walls not so boring.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But seriously, though, going back and in this, I talked with Adam Borsch yesterday. Him fighting in the main event in the event that you're in, and him. Obviously, I don't want you to go too forward, but looking into the future, he talked about how if he were to get a title shot and he would win the belt, we kind of discussed would you him like moving from Europe like yourself, would he ever bring the belt back? And that was something that we really discussed. Would that ever be something that would interest you? Would you ever bring the belt obviously back to St. Louis, but would you ever bring him back to Europe, Lithuania?
If I think so. If people arrange something like for me to come out there, for me to do some things with it, do some appearances, I would. I would absolutely. But if it's just something like, "Hey, Julius, we'll buy your ticket. Come to the gym. We'll do some pictures," then it's like, no. If it's like definitely like bigger thing, then absolutely. But if it's something small, I definitely wouldn't want to waste my time to like fly all the way to Europe just for some local person to take a picture with it. Then no, but I would definitely like if they arrange something like few cool things to do with it, some appearances, then I think I would. I mean, why not? It's like people support you there, so it would be a nice thing because you're representing and they're supporting you. You're walking out with a flag. It would be it wouldn't be nice to not go there if everybody wants you to come out there. So I think I would.
And I got the chance to see that you had the opportunity to go to a school, talk with some kids about hard work, dedication. How honored are you to be able to go and talk about your dedication, the hard work in the sport of combat, or in the sport of MMA?
Um, Talk about it to the kids when I went.
Yeah.
Wait, repeat that one question one more time. Can you say that question one more time?
Sorry. So I think in a post that you had, you went and talked with some kids. I'm not sure if it was a school.
Oh, yeah, I went to back in Southampton. I went to elementary school. They asked, "Hey, Julius, can you come out and just talk about that, like just hard work?" And I guess they're looking for like role models to talk about what they worked on, what they did, and just be an inspiration to kids. So yeah, like I went there, and there were a few classes combined, and just spoke to them about how it came from Lithuania, me having passion for like athletics and working that, and choosing a sport which was wrestling and sticking with that, and then wrestling in college, and then that taking me somewhere else. So I was just talking about like being consistent on a thing that you like, and that you have a big chance taking you somewhere if you just stay consistent. I always fall back to the biggest advice being consistency. It's weird. It's like when everybody always asks like, "What's your biggest advice?" I think about it, and then it's like always consistency. So it was cool.
And elaborate on that. I mean, what kind of advice or what message would you send to up and comers, or maybe young folks that want to get into MMA or combat sports, or ones that want to turn pro? What would be your best advice?
It would be a few different ones. Like if they just starting out, it would be depending where they at. I mean, a few times I got messages. It's like, "Julius, I want to start fighting. What should I do?" And I'm like, "Do you have the gym?" "No, I just go to a gym and I'm just doing bodybuilding right now." I'm like, "Yeah, don't bodybuild. Go find a gym." So it depends where they at. Most of them don't even go look for anything after they hear my answer that they have to go find a gym. Some of them just talk. Um, but if the kid already has the gym and everything, then I will just stay consistent and just do things right. Don't do the things that look flashy, and don't practice the moves that you might do once in every 3 fights. Just stick with the basics. Make your basics good. Yeah, that's another big thing. Yeah, just keep it basic and make your basics good. Don't like how often you're going to be throwing spin, hook kick. Just put that to the side. Just train your 1-2s, because that's pretty much what you're going to be doing all fight. Just keep it basic and consistency.
Excellent. Well, I don't want to take too much more of your time. I know that you're busy getting prepared for a fight. So thanks again for taking your time. It's always a pleasure having you on here and chatting with you, and I love to have you back on again. So without further ado, good luck with your fight on March 12th. It is the 12th, against
Well,
Phil Davis at Bellator 276.
thank you.